Welcome everyone to I guess a special stream here, twitch.tv/primetimepk after WrestleMania 41 in the books right now. Going to talk about that and try the new video game WWE 2K25. So starting things out here, just going to run a simulated Royal Rumble on the screen so we can kind of talk about the show. I'm not going to be distracted by gameplay, and then we'll play the game and have some fun and answer questions and everything like that. But the first part of this is going to just be straight up breaking down what we saw at WrestleMania, while on the video game screen, we have a Royal Rumble on the mixed match challenge. So that's where we're at. And for podcast listeners, none of that made any sense to you because you're just listening to it. But that's what we're doing here today. So obviously WrestleMania, it just wrapped up a couple of moments ago. And look, I think overall, I do think you have to view this as a good WrestleMania, but I do think that it had a bit of a sorry, I'm apparently very choked up about it. I do think that it had a bit of a subpar ending with the John Cena thing. And I don't know, like this is another one where I feel like I kind of duped myself a little bit maybe, and let myself kind of buy into what I thought was going to happen and everything like that. So, sorry, just setting up the tweet there. I kind of convinced myself that, you know what, we hadn't heard from The Rock, but we hadn't heard from him in a little bit. We thought it was he was just like kind of brushing the whole thing aside with Cody and we were just moving on. And then he comes back and he wants Cody's soul. And so because of that, we are now getting him with John Cena. It's like, okay, well, they're not mentioning him again, but like we kind of got duped into thinking that this whole thing was done last time. And now here it is again. And we're getting duped one more time. And then it all plays out. And that's actually not what happened. It's just that we're not getting the Rock here. And you at least get some Travis Scott involvement, but it almost would have been better to have not had that at all because it took a lot out of the crowd, I feel like, and it just kind of it made you think like this was the first act and of the involvements, right? Like I kind of thought Travis Scott comes out like, okay, here we go. This is Cody gets him and he's going to do the thing, but then we're going to hear if you smell, and that's going to happen, and then we're going to get to it, and then Cena hits him with the belt and it's over, and it's just like, that's it? That's all we're getting? That's it? That we're not getting any more? Okay. So again, nothing aside from The Rock being very prominently involved at Elimination Chamber, in the creative led me to thinking that there would be a Rock involvement. I just thought there had to be because he was such a big part of that big moment at the Elimination Chamber. And so it was just a bit of a downer. It was a little bit disappointing by the end of it that you just don't get any Rock involvement, and it felt like that still had another level to get to, if that makes sense. And so look, like I kind of thought that about a number of matches this weekend, and we'll get to some where I absolutely didn't think that, but it felt like there was a lot of matches that maybe it's just because of WrestleMania and we're thinking it needs a little bit extra or whatever that may be, but it did kind of feel like all of these matches had a little bit more to give than what we saw, and maybe had another level to get to reach that WrestleMania moment that we were kind of looking for, and reach that WrestleMania kind of level, I guess, that we're hoping for. Because like the level in wrestling has changed, right? Like you look at how good the matches are on AEW and how good the matches are in WWE and all of that, and it's okay. This is WrestleMania. We're gonna get some big time stuff here. And instead, we got good matches. We got some great matches as well, but a lot of matches that I thought needed to be a little bit better than they were came just a little bit short. And I think that main event got there as well. And I was admittedly getting a little bit worried when Cena hits the third AA or whatever it was, and Cole is like losing his mind. A classic or what? He lost his mind about something when Cody kicked out, and I was like, I mean, I guess like I believe that you want me to believe that, but I didn't really think that. I wasn't watching this being like, oh my God, this is crazy. It's just like, okay, when's Cody going to get his whatever, like it didn't feel like a complete match to me. And then it was over. So you just get left with this wanting feeling. And so now that there are still levels to go in this one. Obviously, John Cena winning the title for the 17th time, that doesn't that doesn't finish his story, so to speak. But from where we were at, losing our minds and Elimination Chamber, John Cena has finally turned, and they did it in such a great way with The Rock doing this. And we're thinking that it means the 2 sign means that there's going to be another person coming out and joining this group. And instead, it just meant, no, that's the amount of people in this ring who are going to be at WrestleMania. That's what this 2 meant. So sorry for the confusion. Sorry if we threw you off the scent on that one a little bit, but that's actually what that meant. Like, you just think of how excited we were at that point to now the creative leading up. It's like, I liked it more than most, I think. The John Cena stuff and all of that. I thought, like, okay, the explanations make sense for why it would be a heel turn. It doesn't necessarily make sense in the way that he did it, but these are making sense. Okay, then we get the back and forth and the I make empires for billionaires and you just whatever. Cool, great lines, all that stuff. But again, it just felt like for your big program, for John Cena against Cody Rhodes, this didn't feel like a WrestleMania build. And this just didn't live up to what that initial inciting incident was necessarily. Honestly, it's a lot of what we criticize AEW for, right? Where you have this big inciting incident with Mariah May and Tony Storm, and then the creatives a little whatever. And they do eventually get it back on track and have a very good ending. But this is WrestleMania. It's supposed to be like the big thing and all of that, right? So to just have it end this way, it kind of feels incomplete. And that's not what you're supposed to be feeling coming out of a WrestleMania. So I am sure post-Mania there's going to be a lot there, but this did kind of feel, sorry, this did kind of feel just a little incomplete and a little underwhelming. And maybe the first time where you could feel the momentum really start to slip for WWE here. Not in a way that is going to be, I think, economically disastrous to this company or anything like that. But this was the first time that it kind of felt like, we're not going to give you the benefit. We gave you the benefit of the doubt. We gave you the benefit of the doubt. We gave you the benefit of the doubt. And now, just We didn't love this one. So, yeah. Frustrating. Very frustrating, because there was a lot that could have been done with this. And now this is going to feel like, it feels like this was the disappointing pay-per-view, but now we're going to get to WrestleMania. It's like, no, that was WrestleMania, by the way, just so you know. So a little underwhelming. The match was okay. It wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination. Certainly when you look at what it had to kind of live up to on this night. A little underwhelming. And then when you compare it to what we got last year at WrestleMania 40 and how big of a moment that felt, that this certainly doesn't reach that kind of a level. So yeah, just disappointing is I think what the overall feel is for me coming out of WrestleMania 41 and that main event. Anyway, we did not start the night disappointed though, did we? Iyo Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley put on a classic. And it's interesting. My 2 favorite matches of the year so far are both women's matches, with the Toni Storm Mariah May match at which one was that? Revolution, I think it was. And then this match tonight. This match was incredible. Some of the feats of athleticism. I thought everyone kind of weaved in and out of this match perfectly. I thought you got some very, very good spots, some very creative spots, and then all the way down to the finish with the over the moonsault while they have something locked in was spectacular. And I think, again, it was a great showcase. If you are a consumer of my content, you know that I am irrational when it comes to my Iyo Sky fandom. And so I was worried that this match was going to be a lot of, okay, this is some cool stuff. And hey, look at this. Iyo can do some flippy dippy shit. Isn't that fun? But then the main story is going to be the 2, Bianca and Rhea. And it is going to be, it's going to be, if Iyo wins, then all of a sudden we get, she's going to win because it was Rhea and Bianca getting tangled up with each other and focusing too much on each other and not enough on Iyo. But that was not it. It was Iyo being equal with all three of them, or with the other two, and putting on a phenomenal performance. So fantastic stuff from Iyo Sky. Toxic in the chat. Night 2 main event was just bad. Yeah, it was not great. It certainly was not great. It never really got out of first gear, it felt like. It felt like we were still in the building up moment. And going into this match, I was trying to not let last year get to me, right? Because you can do the same thing this year that you did last year with Travis Scott comes running out. And then like fucking Sami Zayn comes out to help Cody again or something along those lines, right? And then it all builds up and we basically get the moment we thought we were going to get last year with Rock, and then Austin comes down to help him. And so you are kind of laying like, okay, this is not building great. This is not really picking up here, but this is still just kind of act one of this match, right? We're not getting out of, and then the bell rang and like, well, fuck. Hey, I guess this match is done. Like it never felt like it got another gear, really. I want to see I wonder if they have it up on Wikipedia yet. Do we have how long this match was? Because it felt like I was doing other stuff to try to get this all set up and everything like that. But it felt like, yeah, 21 minutes and 40 seconds. So it was just shy of just beyond Logan Paul and AJ Styles. And then the longest match of the weekend, deservedly so, was CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins in their banger of a triple threat match that we saw on night 1. But yeah, this one, like, none of it felt like a finality. Like last year felt like the end of an era, really. But it really did feel like the end of this big whole story. And this felt like this felt like for us kind of older-ish fans, this felt like No Way Out. This felt like this is the thing we got to get to, and then WrestleMania is going to be off the hook. This is John Cena had to win this one so we can get our big thing at whatever. This was, yeah, Rock had to beat Kurt Angle to hold on to his WrestleMania spot because we had a month to fill. So we had to do this one. This did not feel like WrestleMania coming to a close. So again, just disappointing with how it ended, because this was a great night, I thought, of wrestling overall. And I think night 2 was probably better than night 1, but night 1 ends a whole lot better than night 2 did. But yeah, Iyo was phenomenal. McIntyre against Priest, they went for it. I thought they were great. I thought they did put on a really entertaining show with those two in just some big spots, but not like overwhelming plunder or anything like that. Like you watch some of those old 2000s hardcore matches. It's not just, well, I got a fucking cookie sheet now, so let's go. It wasn't that. I thought it was really entertaining, and I thought they did a great job there. And I do think that the right guy wins with Drew McIntyre getting the victory there. But Priest looked really strong, and I thought it was an overall really, really entertaining matchup. Dominik Mysterio is the new Intercontinental Champion as he beats Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, and Penta at 10.5 minutes. First of all, this 10.5 minute match, the fact that they were twice as good as Cena and Cody with half the time is, I think, quite telling. But kind of talked about it on the pre-show a little bit. Like, they gave Dominik a lot on Monday against Penta. And so you just kind of got this feeling like, we're starting to progress with this kid a little bit. And just thinking about it, I kind of tweeted this out, like, at some point, if you're going to do this with Dominik Mysterio, you kind of got to try with him a little bit. You know, you can't just keep having him be the guy in the tag match or the guy who is just going out there and getting beat up and booed a whole lot, but not actually doing anything. At some point, he actually has to have matches and things like that and have storylines, and his character has to progress a little bit. And we are now into that. So now this is going to be where are we at with Dominik Mysterio? How far has he risen? How good is he actually? And so I think this is a really interesting test for him, because I thought he was really good. That finish there in that match was great. Everyone comes out of this. I guess I shouldn't say that. Finn does not come out of this, I think, much higher. It did kind of feel like he was there to get pinned, was kind of what that felt like. But Penta looked amazing. Braun Breaker felt like the biggest star on this card. Like, there is no doubt in my mind that when we are doing this for WrestleMania 42, we are going to be talking about Braun Breaker winning one of the championships, and being in a very prominent spot. Like, he was excellent. And there's a lot of talk right now. Back in my day, it was like swag. Right now, it's aura. He is oozing aura. He had like just every little bit of it. He has that. He was so much fun to watch in this match, and he just the way they presented him, the way they shot him with the camera, all of it, and just, I mean, the fact that he's jacked helps. But all of it just made this guy feel like an absolute super de-duper star for WWE. And honestly, like I kind of laid out how I thought this was all going to go with the Cena stuff. Um, I, believe it or not, didn't start with, all right, so it's going to start with a really underwhelming main event. But I had kind of laid it all out that Cena was going to win the title to close his career and retire, vacate the championship, and that they're going to have a Royal Rumble for it. Now, I'm kind of the opinion, at this point, give that one to Braun. Cena can do his run, whatever. I don't know if Braun is the one to take the title off of him, but I do think that Braun should be Cena's last match, and I don't think Cena should win it. I think that is the level that I think Braun Breaker can get to. He has all of it. He has that charisma. He has obvious physical gifts. He has obviously worked very hard at this craft as well. And I mean, the Steiner Math promo on the kickoff show thing, or one of the kickoff show things that they did, was just simply perfection. So he is the total package. He really is. I know that guy just got put into the Hall of Fame, but Braun Breaker really is the total package. And I think this weekend did nothing to slow those conversations down. Randy Orton beats Joe Hendry at 310. I still wish it was Nick Aldis. I still wanted him to have that WrestleMania moment, but this was not what I was expecting. I didn't for 1 second honestly think, oh, of course, it'll be Joe Hendry. It was going to be Rusev, it was going to be Solo, or it was going to be Nick Aldis. And so when that music hits, a actual gasp comes out of me when that happened. I thought, again, it was really cool. And then it was what it needed to be, right? Like the TNA champion getting squashed. I'm sure a couple people were a little upset by it, but it was so much fun. Joe Hendry gets his looks in, and then Randy Orton doing the spin after and all of that and getting his RKOs. And it was perfect. Joe Hendry turns to the camera, and then out of nowhere, RKO, bam, and he gets him, and that's it, and it's over. Oh, I loved it. I thought it was great, and I love that Joe Hendry got that spot and seemed actually emotional about getting that opportunity as well. So great for him to get that spot. It would have been funny if it was Randy Orton now wins the TNA championship. And then you do Randy Orton versus John Cena for the TNA championship at Bound for Glory. Sign me up. Probably not going to happen. But I thought it was cool. Logan Paul against AJ Styles. I am not one to say a whole lot glowing about Logan Paul. This match was exactly what you would expect it to be. And we get a Karrion Kross something coming out for post-WrestleMania. And I mean, for those watching, either live here on Twitch or afterward in the videos, we got Karrion Kross on here right now. But I think that he has done good enough work that we need to now focus on this guy a little bit more coming out of WrestleMania. He should be, I think, one of the projects moving forward. Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch defeat Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Again, I thought this was fun. I thought this match kind of hit on a lot of things. And obviously, the big thing is Becky's return. I don't know why Bayley had to get thrown into it and then thrown out of it in this way. If you're going to do this, again, Bayley against Roxanne Perez was a feud that was right there. And so, again, don't love that this happened. Maybe you tie something into the attack with a Roxanne Perez and we can build on that feud there. But wrestling is more fun when Becky Lynch is back, and now she is back and as a champion. I loved that we got Lyra Valkyria genuinely fangirling out, right? Like she was like, looks out at the crowd like, oh my gosh, there's 60 whatever thousand people watching me wrestle right now. And then when Becky comes out, she is just like an absolute child, just so excited when that happened. And so you'll love to see the passion there of Lyra Valkyria and doing all that. So overall, night 2 was better than night 1. The ending of this really does kind of drag a lot of it down for me, but you look at what we get coming out of it now. Jey Uso winning the championship was great. We get, like, Tiffany Stratton gets her big win. Anyway, that match wasn't great, but she at least, I thought, put on a good performance. Jacob Fatu as a champ for the first time. Jade Cargill looked like a star. El Grande Americano and Rey Fenix was fun as hell. And Seth Rollins' turn with Paul Heyman was big. And then night 2, Iyo, Bianca, and Rhea Ripley put on the match of the year. Dominik Mysterio is a champion now. McIntyre and Priest had a banger. So a lot, and we got Joe Hendry on WrestleMania. So we had a lot of real fun on this one. It's just the main event really does kind of drag it down. So I don't think anyone's list of best WrestleManias is changing after this one. I don't know if anyone's list of worst WrestleManias is changing. I don't even think this is the worst WrestleMania main event to have happened in Las Vegas, Nevada. But it is a bit of a downer to end things on. And this is one, it's not to the point of where I made the AEW is in trouble video on YouTube, but this is one where this John Cena story, whatever Act 2 is now coming out of this, needs to be very impressive. And I think we kind of got to get to it a little bit quicker on Monday, and we need to have some big advancements, because I do think that this one has the potential to lose a lot of people and has the potential to really disappoint a lot of people coming out of this. So a bit of a bummer for WrestleMania to end that way. We still get some big matches, but this just didn't have the same grandeur. The build-up didn't have the same grandeur, and this night didn't really feel like the big WrestleMania night either.